The Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Chevy. Find new roads. Best parts, best prices. Bennett Auto Supply. Contender Boats. Performance through innovation. Navionics. We start where the roads end. And Guy Harvey, artist, explorer, marine scientist, conservationist, and diver.
Want the power of a V8 with the highway fuel economy of a V6? Yes, sir. 40,000 more warranty miles than an F-150 work for you?
Sure does.
Does the lowest cost of ownership nod the Silverado got help with the decision?
It makes the decision.
Copy that.
Sold.
Chevy Silverado. Now get the best pickup coverage in America with 0% financing for 60 months. Plus, Chevy truck owners can trade up for an additional $2,000 total cash allowance, or Chevy truck owners trade up to get a total value of $7,500.
Continuing the revolution. Faster, drier, even better built. Designed around Yamaha's latest technology outboards. Still built by the same craftsmen and anglers who launched the Bay Boat Revolution. Whether chasing world records, or time on the water with the family, or anything in between, there's a new Pathfinder model for you. Pathfinder, #1 for a reason, still.
It's 200 streamlined horsepower of Yamaha forward thinking. The all-new F200 inline 4-stroke. Whether you're an offshore angler, pontoon cruiser, bay boater, or walleye hunter, the responsive and fuel-efficient F200 combines amazing power and versatility in one incredibly compact and lightweight package. The all-new F200. Legendary Yamaha reliability and the freedom of forward thinking.
Make sure you check out our website at FloridaInsiderFishingReport.com. You can get reports from all 9 of our captains as well as tour dates, and check us out on Facebook too. You can upload your pictures there and may even be featured on our next show. Next up tonight is the Northeast region from the Georgia state line south to Ponce Inlet. That's where Captain Russell Theron calls home. Captain Russell, what can you tell us about sailfish in the Northeast?
I sure can. Let me tell you, Lauren, welcome aboard.
Thank you so much.
We've got some great sail fishing here in Northeast Florida. You know, some of our better areas is from Ponce Inlet north to St. Augustine from 100 foot and out. Now, one of the most recommended ways to catch sailfish in our region is to slow troll about 8 knots, and you want to use small ballyhoo rigged on either a 5-aught or a 7-aught VMC circle hook. Now, a lot of the guys enjoy using teasers. They want to pull teasers called dredges about 20 feet behind their boat to attract the sailfish to their baits. The typical size sailfish in our region runs about 6 foot and weighs 40 to 45 pounds. And just for a side note, I just want to congratulate Dave Workman on his world record of 93 sailfish that he caught in Guatemala in an 8-hour period when he was on vacation with his wife over there last year. What a great feat.
That is crazy. But you know, one of the things that's so cool about that is it takes a world-class guy, Russell, to be able to catch. And I'm talking about an angler who really understands how to feed them, how to release them, the whole deal. Awesome feat. Good job. Congratulations, Dave. Hey, Russell, tell me about what else is happening offshore.
Rick, March and April are one of our best months for going after wahoo. You know, the wahoo are in 160 to 1,000 feet of water. Now, to locate the wahoo, you want to fish the tide lines and look for the temperature breaks between 73 and 78 degrees. The best wahoo bite is coming from a purple and black sea witch lure, and the typical size for the wahoo are running anywhere from 20 to 60 pounds.
All right, let's go inshore, Buck.
Inshore. Boy, I tell you what, the good old boys are loving this time of year because one of their favorite fish to target are the big black drum. Now, this is the best time of year for the black drum to come inshore because they come in to spawn on these strong spring tides. The St. Mary's Inlet, Nassau Sound, Mayport Jetties, even the St. Augustine Inlet will produce some good black drum action right now. The best bite is during the last 2 hours of the ebb and the first 2 hours of the flood. And what you want to do is fish the washouts at the end of the rock jetties or in the deep holes in the river. Now, you want to fish for the big drum with like a medium tipped rod that's either 6 or 7 feet long. You want to have your line a reel with at least 40 to 45 pounds test line. You want to use an egg sinker, anywhere from 3 to 8 ounces, to hold the bottom. You want to add about a 4-foot shock leader of 80-pound test line. I like 4-carbon, and tie on a 7/0 VMC circle hook. Some best bait is you want to use a fresh half of a blue crab. Now, the black drum can average anywhere from 35 to 60 pounds, but some can top over 80. Typical size really runs around 20 to 40 pounds. Now, another thing that I love that is so good to eat, and that is the bull whiting. Man, I love fried whiting and my mama's cheese grits. Spring is a great time for fishing for whiting. The better bites are coming in the St. Mary's Inlet, Nassau Sound, and, of course, if you want to fish by boat, you can do that. And also the surf fishermen are going to do real well, especially off of Little Talbot Island. Use a double...
Well, I guess we were going to use a double hook rig is what Captain Russell was saying. And one of the things that came to mind when I was listening to his report, Lauren, is that he was talking about the big black drum. Now, guys, he was talking about cutting a blue crab in half. And how you do that without crushing him is there's 2 ways. If you turn the crab upside down, for whatever reason, he cuts very well. You can use a pair of scissors, like pruning scissors, which works well. But the key, Lauren, by cutting that crab in half, is now you have all his integral parts, all of his legs, and all of his guts and everything, and those black drum really feed by smell. So that was one of the questions I was going to ask Russell. But you know what? We got to keep moving. I'm going to go ahead and get to the strike zone hotspots from the Northeast region. Inshore, Captain Russell said, big black drum are in the inlets. The last 2 hours of the ebb and the first 2 hours of the flood tide. He's going to use a half of blue crab for bait, fresh, of course, not frozen. And then offshore, we're going to go wahoos. Fast troll sea witch lures on the tide lines and the temperature breaks that range from 73 to 78 degrees on the ledges. That's very important to make sure you guys are in the right temperature.
I was thinking actually maybe Captain Russell's mom had dinner ready, so maybe that's why he had to leave in a hurry.
Yeah,
Could be.
It sounded like to me with those cheese grits, he doesn't miss a meal. And when you meet Russell, you'll know.
You didn't call us.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then in that case, we're going to head west. We'll leave Russell with Mom. We'll head west to the Northwest region, that is, with Captain Jeff Hageman. Of course, he is the man in the Northwest. Hey, Jeff.
How you doing? Welcome, Lauren.
Thank you so much. Glad to be with you guys.
Glad to have you.
All right, so now that you got all the niceties out of the way, can we talk about sailfish? Holy
come
cow.
on.
Our sail fishing is actually getting better and better every year, and this last year was probably the best I've seen. We're getting more and more of them. Most of our fish are usually caught accidentally, but actually right now, and last year, you were able to get out there and target fish, get anywhere from 7 to 10 shots, see them out there finning up on top. You want to get out there and look for birds, bait, weed lines. All that's going to key into where these fish are going to be. Temperature breaks are another good thing. But most of our fish are usually, like I said, caught accidentally while we're king fishing. Our fish run a little bit smaller than your fish on your coast, but we do catch some fish up to 70 pounds. And I got a picture there of a fish we caught last year with me holding them, caught on a thread fin.
All right.
And we pulled up to that fish and just pitched a bait to him. You can see how smooth the water is. Those fish really light up when it's like that, and those fins get out of the water. It's kind of neat to get up there and pitch it to them.
All right, Jeff, what else you got for me offshore, bub?
I got gag grouper in anywhere from 30 to 70 feet of water over rock piles and ledges. You want to use cut sardines, live pinfish, or grunts. I stress this every time I talk about bottom fishing. Start off with that dead bait first, get all those fish down there fired up. Once your bite slows down a little bit, then switch to your live bait. Wait till that. Everybody gets out there and wants to drop that pinfish down, and I like to do it too. But if you get those fish fired up, eating that dead bait first, you'll really catch a lot more fish, and then drop that live bait down there, and you'll keep the bite going. But you want to use a 5 to 8 VMC circle hook, anywhere from 80 to 100 pound leader. Nice stiff rod, keep those fish from getting you in the rocks. And the fish are ranging anywhere from 5 pounds up to 30 pounds. There's been some good reports of a lot of fish, so there's a lot of good fish out there right now.
All right, well, let's go ahead.
Inshore, Captain Mario Costello out of Homosassa reports slot-sized black drum. Russell was just talking about these, but these are some smaller fish, schooled up around the oyster bars and inside the larger creeks. You want to fish on the incoming tide. You use live shrimp on a hookup jig, and you want to bite the tail of the shrimp off and hook them backwards. Fish them in the tide, let them sit on the bottom, and work it back really slow. That smell, like Russell was talking about earlier, is really a key effect. In Tampa Bay right now, we've also got those large schools of black drum all around the clam bars right now in Terra Verde. The fish are running anywhere from 30 to 50 pounds, and most of the time we're throwing a quarter-ounce to a three-quarter-ounce Bass Assassin jig head with a chartreuse tail on it. That chartreuse turbo shad seems to be the trick. You want to fish the fish that are on the bottom. There's a lot of fish on top, but fish the fish down deep. Those are the ones eating. The ones on top are kind of doing their spawn thing right now, and they're not really looking for food, but the ones down at the bottom will eat. Also inshore, Captain Jamie Goodwin of GoFloridaFishing.com reports a great trout bite in St. Pete. He said they've been on fire right now in the upper slot. A lot of fish over 20 inches, so you can only keep one of them right now, so you got to find some smaller fish in there too. But most of the fish are biting on live sardines, and that sub-walk at the mossback color and the smallest one they make has been working really well. Anywhere to 1 to 4 feet of water over the sand holes. And I got a couple photos here of a nice trout caught with me and Amanda Gilbert, hell of a person to go fishing with. She's a great angler. And we caught those fish on sardines in less than 2 feet of water.
All right, Jeff.
And also, Rick, before we get going, the CCA Tampa chapter is doing their 28th annual banquet coming up here. For more info than that, go to ccaflorida.org and click on the Tampa chapter, and you can get some more information on that.
Hey, great report from the Yeti Northwest region, Bub. I'm going to go ahead and get to a new hotspot sponsor from the Northwest region, the Drummond Community Bank hotspot. Inshore, Captain Jeff says, redfish on the top of the tide, use cut pinfish or ladyfish for bait. And then offshore, he's saying grunts and sea bass on the flat rock off of Tarpon Springs in 30 to 45 feet of water. We're going to use squid on a chicken rig as bait. Boy, we got a lot of terminology we got to talk about. We got drunk monkeys, we got chicken rigs, we've got knocker rigs, we got, too much to talk about.
Drunk monkeys.
Yeah, drunk
They've
monkeys.
been back at the workbench, well, Harry?
That's it.
It's monkeys. All right, when we come back, we're going to hop over to the working man's region. You're going to recognize it as the Southwest. Plus, our Conservation Minute is next, so stick around.
The Florida Insider Fishing Report is brought to you by Rapala. Catch the latest at Rapala.com. Reactor, the best built performance sports watch, period. Star Bright, cures and prevents ethanol fuel problems. Strike Zone Fishing. Suffix, the world's most hardcore fishing line. And Yamaha, reliability starts here.
At highway speeds, things can get pretty windy. That's why the Chevrolet Cruze Eco has active aero grille shutters that close at higher speeds to improve aerodynamics. With an EPA estimated 42 miles per gallon highway, the Chevrolet Cruze Eco offers the best highway fuel economy of any gas engine in America. Always thinking of ways to give you more, while using less. That's American ingenuity to find new roads.
Have you ever wanted to go to a place where the fish are big and wild? Have you ever wanted to fish a flat and never see anyone else? Have you ever wanted to dive your very own tropical reef? Have you ever wanted to watch the sun go down on a 90-foot mothership with 10 of your friends? Sea Hunter, the ultimate Caribbean adventure.
You already know about the La Jolla Resort in Isla Mirada, so let's talk about the La Jolla experience. With an on-site boat ramp, the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic is just minutes away. And when you return from fishing, there's barbecue pits to cook your catch while your family enjoys the pool or one of our new remodeled rooms. This historic resort, the La Jolla, is family-owned and operated and has a friendly staff ready to make your La Jolla experience a really great one.
You know there's more to it than luck. There's fishing the right bait, the water temperature, the wind, the season, and then there's the boat. We'll put it simply, the boat matters. To own a Contender is to own the best sport fishing boat on the market, period. Contender offers the most comprehensive model range with bigger, faster, and more fuel-efficient boats than the competition. There's only one choice for serious anglers. Contender Boats. Performance through innovation.
This Conservation Minute is brought to you by Costa Sunglasses.
I'm Captain Rick Murphy, and fishing throughout Florida, the fishing capital of the world, is my passion. And there's nothing more fun than landing a trophy Florida bass except releasing it. Florida Trophy Catch Program allows you to reward yourself for releasing a bass over 8 pounds. Register now and go to trophycatchflorida.com and sign up. Read the rules, be sure to have a camera, a scale, and a ruler in your boat. And just registering makes you eligible for a drawing for a Phoenix bass boat. The next time you catch a bass over 8 pounds in Florida, photograph it, release it, and get rewarded. And if there's a fish over 13 pounds, handle it like a rare jewel and call the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission to come certify it before you let it go. Reward yourself for releasing a bass over 8 pounds anywhere in Florida, and you'll be helping the FWC ensure Florida is the bass fishing capital of the world today and tomorrow. You know, Lauren, when you put a big shiner over the side of the boat, you're eliminating that small fish bite, and I gotta tell you, you just never know how big and what's gonna happen.
I'll tell you what's gonna happen. I'll give you a shiner. Take my turn again.
Okay.
I got some work to do here.
All right,
All right. All right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Out of the Southwest, it's the working man's region. From Boca Grande Pass south to Lossman's River, that's where Captain Ron Houston's got you covered. Now, Ronnie, not a lot of sailfish where you are, correct?
That is correct, and just want to let everybody know it's great to be back. Also like to welcome Lauren to the show, and a special thanks to everybody who's watching. The offshore report's going to be pretty consistent in the last couple days, but listen to my report. We got a front moving in. Weather's going to get bad for the weekend. Before you head out, make sure you check that weather. The red grouper bite since the opening of red grouper yesterday has been great, according to Captain Mike Avnon. He says try to work a pattern of fishing live bottom anywhere from Marco to Fort Myers, concentrating on anywhere from 13 to 25 miles out. Now, he's been telling me you can use live pinfish, but on most of his trips, better catches have been on cut herring or cut squid and also cut pinfish. But for the best keeper size fish right now, you want to concentrate on working anywhere from 13 to 25 miles out, and like I say, working live bottom. Also, he's been telling me the king mackerel bite's been great, anywhere from Fort Myers Beach to Boca Grande. Although you're working a little bit different, you're working anywhere from 8 to 20 miles out. He's telling me he's fishing wrecks, ledges, and hard bottom. Now, when you're fishing these wrecks for these king mackerel, there's been some big groups of cobia moving up and down the coast. Keep a live bait handy in case these cobia pop up in front of you. But right now, trolling live bait such as blue runners or silver spoons on planers to locate these king mackerel. Once they're located, make sure you have plenty 1.5 ounce white jigs or a variety of live pilchers. Obviously, all with a tracer wire, typical size in the last couple of days. And like I said, keep an eye on our weather, 7 to 15 pounds.
All right, let's go inshore, Ronnie.
Now, the trout fishing has been great actually all through the region, although now it's finally starting to warm up. But down in the 10,000 Island region, you want to fish anywhere from Pavilion Key to Plover Key. You want to concentrate on the early morning incoming. You want to concentrate on working depths of 2 to 5 feet of water along the outside edges of the troughs as the tide's low. As the water starts to get a little bit higher, concentrate on potholes and grass flats. Key baits that I've been using down in that area have been noise-making corks, especially the Bass Assassin oval cork with 4-inch paddle tails or quarter-ounce jiggers with the Bass Assassin little tappers in white, green, or violet moon, also good pennies. But today we had an excellent day fishing with these baits. We were using the new chicken on a chain little tapper. It worked exceptionally well. Also, walk the dog lures in bone and red and white. Typical size right now is anywhere from 18 to 25 inches. And I just fished some gentlemen by the name of Bob Walker with his buddies Dennis Corby and Billy Lanzira. Those are the typical size trout in my region right now, and still plenty to be caught. It's a great fishery. Also, a little bit to the north, redfish bite's been good according to Captain Danny Latham. But as we say, we got a front moving this week, and we don't know how cool it's going to get. But on the cooler warmer temps, you want to concentrate on fishing anywhere from Bull Bay, Turtle Bay, or Ponce Park to Burn Store, fishing the east side. He's telling me an incoming water. On the cooler water temps, use live shrimp or soft plastic shrimp imitations on a quarter-ounce jig head. But as the temperature starts to warm up after that, 4-inch suspending lures, fishing sandbar edges, potholes, and troughs, especially with heavy bait concentrations. Also, he's telling me
The reliable gold spooner will work. So with the warm-up, concentrate on fishing a lot more artificial. Typical size, anywhere from 4 to 6 pounds. And he's telling me there's plenty of fish out there. They can be a little bit tough to catch at times.
Hey, okay, Ron, hey, I got a couple questions for you. The first question is, you know, this time of year, we still get a little cold front activity, you know, where the wind goes west and then the temperatures drop a little bit. What do you do to adjust your fishing with that?
Well, it's plain and simple. As I get the cooler water temps, I concentrate on fishing more oyster bars or mud bottoms, where the fish will want to stay a little bit warmer. And as that happens, as it gets cooler, instead of using a variety of artificials, obviously everybody wants to catch fish, I generally try to knock a rig some shrimp or cut bait such as mullets. And as the warm-up comes, especially like a day like today, I just shot a show today and we had an awesome bite. Warm-up was here. We fished on the outer Gulf points down in, off of Lost Winds River. Caught plenty of redfish on top water plugs. And as they got a little spooky, we used a 4-inch paddle tail. So on the warm-ups, I fished the outer edges with artificials, but with the cool weather, especially when people want to bend rods, cut bait such as shrimp, mullet, or ladyfish.
All right, one last question. We need a quick answer. Hey, one of the questions people ask me about top water fishing, a lot of people think it's morning or a night thing, early or late. Do you agree or disagree?
I totally disagree. As a matter of fact, the last couple of days with this warm-up, I've had my customers throwing top water walker dog plugs all day. Most folks tell you put that lure away at 10 o'clock in the morning, but if you want a good bite, catch a big fish, throw them top waters all day.
All right, thanks, Ron. Appreciate it, midnight, and we're going to go ahead and get to the hot spots from the Southwest region. Obviously, Ron was calling us from his office, and we had a little echo going on there. And obviously, speakerphone. I appreciate no other additional sound effects, but in short, he's saying Black Drum, Sheephead, Marco to Fort Myers Beach, fishing seawalls, docks, rock piles, and oyster bars, using cut pieces of shrimp. And then offshore, cobias, Indian Key to Wiggins Pass, 6 to 15 miles out, fishing wrecks, turtles, rays, the head pin using large live baits or artificial eels.
I mean, isn't it against like man code or something to call the guy out doing business from the office?
Well, sometimes your best business is when you're taking a load off and as you're putting a load in.
Downloading the files, I guess it is. Stay with us. We're going to come right back with next week's lineup.
The Johnsons, right?
Yeah.
Which house is yours?
The one with the Silverado up front.
So, what do you do?
Well,
Nice.
And Bingo was his name.
The Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road. For work, for life, Chevy Silverado.
It's got the punch of a heavyweight and the pounds of a lightweight. Welcome to the main event featuring the new Yamaha 4-stroke F70, tipping the scales at up to 142 pounds lighter than its 4-stroke competitors. That's a class-leading power-to-weight ratio, a haymaker of a whole shot, surprising mid-range punch, incredible fuel economy, and industry-leading innovation, performance, and reliability. The Yamaha 4-stroke F70. Reliability starts here.
If you like fishing or the history of fishing, then I have a must-see place for you. The IGFA Fishing Hall of Fame and Museum in Dania Beach. What makes the IGFA so cool is that they have theaters where you can learn about the journey of fishing, galleries where the kids can see antique reels or catch a big one. The Hall of Fame room has over 140 beautiful fish mounts, and maybe in the E.K. Harry Library, you may see a live alligator. For more family fun, go to IGFA.org.
Fish Stock, the total saltwater experience, returns to New Smyrna Beach this Memorial Day weekend. Bring the whole gang to Riverside Park for an incredible family experience. Tournaments, boat shows, seminars, kids clinics, and the Fish Stock 5K Fun Run. Visit fishstock.com to register for the Offshore Striker Tournament with an expected payout of nearly $100,000 in cash and prizes. Or the Redfish Trout Challenge with an expected payout of $15,000 in cash, prizes, and much more. Fish Stock, Memorial Day weekend in New Smyrna Beach. Don't miss this one.
Next week's theme is cobia. Make sure to check us out next Thursday, April 11th, and you can catch repeats on Friday and Saturday. Just check your local listings on Sun Sports for more details. And as always, make sure you check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
All right, Harry, you know what? We're glad to have you here. I appreciate you filling in for Dave. Dave's going to be back next week. It'll actually be Lauren's first introduction to Dave.
That's all right. I had a great time this time.
Am I nervous?
Yeah, you need to be.
I'd be nervous.
More importantly, guys, I appreciate you guys tuning in. And after this show, we're going to have Sports Adventures. The new season starts. We'll be with our Northwest Regional Captain, Jeff Hageman, up in Waukesasa, waiting on the oyster bars, catching big, giant redfish. Make sure you tune in, and we appreciate you tuning in this week.
See you next time.
Good job tonight.